The People's Democratic Party is set to hold its convention this weekend in Abuja to elect a new batch of national officers to steer the affairs of the party for the next 4 years and superintend over the selection of candidates that will contest the 2023 general election. However, as the PDP prepares for the convention, the spectre of a lawsuit instituted by Secondus, the suspended national chairman of the party, is hanging over its head. Should the Court of Appeals sitting in Port Harcourt, which yesterday deferred judgment on the matter to today, rule in favor of Secondus and stop the PDP from going ahead with the convention, this will prolong the internal crisis that has bedeviled the party for several months. Joining us now to discuss the party's convention, the 4-year tenure of the National Working Committee of the PDP that will be dissolved tomorrow, and the threat posed by the lawsuit instituted by Secondus, is Kola Ologbondiyan, National Publicity Secretary of the PDP. Welcome to the show, Kola, and good morning.
Thank you very much. Good morning, Dr. Ruben Abati.
Good morning.
Good morning, Nigerians.
Well, did you greet Tundu?
Yes.
Okay, you did. Okay, Kola.
Yes, I greeted Tundu.
Okay, very good. Will the convention still hold tomorrow? What is the level of uncertainty that the party is dealing with? And, you know, I was saying earlier on that many people are afraid that if the judgment in Port Harcourt does not go in favor of the party, then, you know, the party will be in a very bad place beyond today.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. Abati. I listened to you when you were speaking to uncertainty and fears. I would like to say, on behalf of the People's Democratic Party, that there are no uncertainties or fears within the People's Democratic Party. What we know for certain and for real is that the party is prepared for its convention tomorrow. And preparation are at top notch on how to achieve a successful and seamless national convention. However, it does not translate to a notion that we are undermining the powers of the court. That is totally out of it. But what we are saying as a party is that no matter what happened in the courts today, the party's constitution has made enough provisions that can take charge of shocks. We have strong absorbers within the lines of our party's constitution that can take care of any situation in which the party has found itself. So for us in the People's Democratic Party, we are ready, we are prepared. The Eagle Square is being decorated even as we speak. The workers didn't sleep overnight. Every of the 15 committees responsible for one form of activity or the other in respect of the National Convention is at work. So, Dr. Ruben Abati, I want you to understand clearly, and I think I know that you know this, that the party has enough shock absorbers to take charge of any situation. And I must quickly also speak about your reaction to Dino's comment, where he said that APC is responsible for whatever is happening in the party. I think what Dino meant to say is that we understand in our party that APC is waiting on the sides to say that, oh, even the PDP that Nigerians are rallying with, even the PDP that Nigerians believe will come and rescue them from the situation in which, from the precipice in which we have been pushed into by the All Progressives Congress and Buhari administration. Look at what has become of them. But the assurances we want to give is that it is a family. And even in a family of 3, a mother, a dad, and a child, there are contestations. So it depends on how these contestations are managed. I want to leave us with this.
So you refer to shock absorbers. Can you tell us what contingency plans you have in case the judgment does not actually go your way?
But honestly, Tundu, and I want to be very, very sincere and frank with you, the PDP is not in contemplation of whether the judgment will not go our way. We are not in that contemplation at all. We are preparing. And as I've always said at every forum, that the People's Democratic Party does not respond to speculations. We do not respond to innuendos. We confront realities as they come. So for us, in the People's Democratic Party, it is not in our place to sit down and say, oh, they say they are going to give judgment in Port Harcourt at 12 noon. Oh, do we run aground? Oh, do we abandon what we are doing? No, we won't do that as a party. We will continue to prepare. And like I said earlier on, no matter what the situation is, within the lines and the confines of our PDP Constitution 2017 amendment, we have all the shock absorbers to manage whatever situation.
Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan, there's something called scenario planning. And scenario planning has to do with positing different scenarios that might eventually happen. And what we just want to know is, in the event of scenario B happening, that the court says you can't go ahead with your convention tomorrow, two things will happen. The PDP will be a laughingstock by the APC, one. Two, would also be a laughingstock by a lot of Nigerians. Three, will start up a chain of reactions, because by then, the chairman that has been put out, which is Secondus, will now have another groundswell at the party and give it a shot in a fight to finish. These are eventual outcomes for this scenario. What will be your shock absorber to bolster these scenarios I've just posited?
Well, Rufai, these are newsroom contemplations. They don't happen in political arena.
No, but these are scenarios. I just posited them.
I want us
hypothetical as they may.
I want us to. Yes, I know, Rufai. I understood where you were coming from, but like I said, these are newsroom scenarios. They don't happen in political environment. As we speak, I have said it. We are guided by our constitution, and every activity of our party is also guided by the Constitution. So I have said it clearly that the Constitution has enough room to absorb whatever situation in which we find ourselves.
Mr. Ologbondiyan,
it's not in our place.
Mr. Ologbondiyan, this
yes.
Okay, sorry, this same your Constitution, Dr. Bati was making a point earlier on about this same your Constitution, saying that you cannot pull out the party chairman just like that because he's the chairman of the caucus, he's the chairman of the, convention. He's in charge of everything. And this same your party constitution was used to say, oh, he did something wrong in his ward in Port Harcourt, like Dr. Bati was explaining the other time. So you have gone against this same your constitution because you keep calling this your constitution. Yeah, I have finished. Can you hear me, sir?
Okay, now, okay. What we're asking is within the realm of what the court will decide. And it is not in my place to go and get, like Dr. Ruben Abati will say, to go and get sub judice. I will not go into the realm or into the contemplation of what is before the courts. Let the courts decide whether any of our activity has run foul of the provisions of our Constitution. That's meant for the court to decide. So there's no need for us to push the argument into the realm of what is before the court. I don't want to go in for what they call contempt of the court. I'm not a lawyer.
Yes, I think you're absolutely correct on that score, Kola Ologbondiyan. I mean, we can't jump ahead of the court, and we can't speculate on what the outcome will be. However, when you said earlier that the party has shocks and absorbers, is it possible for you to take us through those shocks and absorbers? Because you know very well that the constitution of a political party cannot override judicial precedents or the decision of court, which fall under sources of Nigerian law. A political party's constitution is not a principal source of law in Nigeria. So I don't know. But what are those shocks and absorbers that you think in the event of whatever happens can protect the party and allow the convention to go on?
Doctor, I have told you earlier on that as a political party, the People's Democratic Party does not respond to speculations. we don't respond to innuendos. We respond to realities. When these realities occur, we go into our law and say, okay, when we find ourselves in a situation like this, how do we come out of it? I want to give you an example. When we held the Congress in Anambra State, a lot of people said, how could the people have done that? It's against the law. Is this one? Is that? But the party had to sit down within the confines of the law. How do we escape a situation in which the party has been almost encumbered in every aspect through which it can conduct a Congress? So in that realm, what is left for us? Then we suddenly remember, and we advise by senior advocates, where are your statutory delegates who don't need to be elected? And we went in that route. This matter has gone through the processes of the courts. And as we speak today, not one court has said that we flouted our constitution or we flouted the constitution of Nigeria. So the point that I'm making is that in the People's Democratic Party, we are guided by the provisions of our constitution, by the provisions of the Electoral Act, and by the provision of the 1999 Constitution as amended. I can assure you and truly assure Nigerians this morning that no matter what happens, the PDP will remain intact.
So can you give us some insight into your plans, assuming, since you want to be optimistic this morning, that the convention will go ahead as planned this weekend? We're expecting an election. We're expecting, obviously, a confirmation of what we've heard, that consensus selection of Senator Iyorchia Alu. Can you tell us what else we should expect this weekend?
Well, to know what we're expecting in our party, and this is natural, it is normal, is that the court will rule in the favor of the party. It's our prayer. And we also pray that we hold a convention that will be seamless, a convention that will elect the consensus candidates are agreed on by the various geopolitical zones who have brought out those candidates. And our expectation is that at the end of it all, Nigerians will come and join us to rescue our nation together, which is the theme of the 2021 National Convention. We are not apprehensive, we don't have fears, we don't have uncertainties. We believe strongly that the convention will hold. We believe strongly that at the end of the convention, the party will remain more united than it has ever been.
Okay, so let's still posit more scenarios. And the happy scenarios this time around. Oh, you've finally done your convention. Iyorchia Alu has emerged. What would be the lot of the presidential ticket? Would he come to the South, traditionally, the way it's supposed to be? That's a contentious problem in your party now. Because by default, by tradition, if the party chairman goes to the North, presidential ticket should come to the South.
Thank you very much, Rufai. As I speak on behalf of the party at this moment, no formal decision has been taken by the party on where the presidency will go to. It is the right of the North to agitate. It is also the right of the South to agitate. But before we go into the presidential election, certainly the party will come together, look at the narratives in public space, look at the situation in the party, examine how the party can win an election, and take a decision. Mind you that Governor Ukwanyi's committee did come up to say that they were limited to zoning the offices of the party. Then we also had the Balak's committee, which came up with a report stating that, given the situation in the country, the Northeast or the Southeast should be where the presidency will come from. They have also forgotten, the committee didn't take consideration of the fact that even the North Central has not had a democratically elected president. But it went further to say that in view of the demands by Nigerians that merit takes precedence over local or political zonings, that the party could consider leaving the ticket open. This report is before the National Executive Committee as well, and at its right moment and in its wisdom, the party will decide where the presidency will go to.
Well, Kola, very quickly. I mean, you're a member of the National Working Committee of the party. Now, there are lessons, that the party has learned so far with this crisis around the tenure of the chairman of the party. The constitution of the party prescribes a 4-year tenure for members of the National Working Committee, or if you like, elected officials of the party. Now, it's only Prince Uche's Secondus, more or less, that is in the eye of the storm. Don't you think that that's why Prince Uche's Secondus is fighting, saying, yes, even if he will be removed, why shouldn't he be allowed to at least complete his tenure? What's your position in that regard, as someone who worked directly with the suspended chairman of the party? Forget about the legal issues.
I did not only work... Thank you very much, Dr. Abati. I did not only work directly with Prince Uche Secondus when he was as the national chairman of the party. I am also a member of the National Working Committee. However, the supremacy of the party and its decisions remain constant. And as such, no matter how personally we feel, we have a responsibility to the heritage which has been handed over to us, to protect and to shield it from whatever influences that can cause a damage. This does not foreclose the chances and the rights of any member of the National Working Committee, including Prince Uche Secondus, if you feel that your rights have been trampled upon, to seek redress. But personally, I believe that the party gave us a duty. The party gave us a responsibility that we should look over its affairs for a duration and for a period. If at any point in time, the party also came together and said that, oh, the level to which you have gone is okay. Individuals can take decisions of their own. I am not faulting the decision of Prince Uche Secondus. That is his own personal decision. But individuals can also feel that I have been cheated and I cannot accept this. And as such, I want to seek redress. But what I think should be paramount, and this is a personal opinion, is that we have been given a chance to govern the party for a period of 48 months. Going into the 46th month, we have been asked to give way. I consider this set of NWC as a very lucky set. Until I go to my grave, I believe this NWC performed wonderfully well. There's no argument about that. And I also believe that we need to protect the institution that has given us the privilege to serve it for this period of time. Thank you very much, Dr. Abati.
Well, we pray that that's many, many decades to come, Mr. Ologbondiyan. But then, should the party not also protect itself? What is the point of all this rancor when December is a matter of weeks away? Why was Prince Uche Secondus just not allowed to serve his term and bow out gracefully?
Tudu, you must understand that the essence of politics is contestation. Whether for interests, whether for powers, for whatever you look at it, it's about contestations. And it is natural in every political party, even with our neighbors, the APC. Look at the crises that have rankled every of their affairs. It's all about contestation for power. Oh, okay, 2023 is going to come. okay, I want to take charge of, or I want to become the person who will determine, or our group must become the group that will determine what goes to where and who gets what. That is the essence of politics. And that exactly is what is happening. What's important is how do we manage the outcome of this? And I'm aware that every segment of the party, I'm aware that every organ of the party is out there making efforts to ensure that at the end of it all, we remain a united political party that will serve the interests and the expectations of Nigerians.
All right, thank you so much, Mr. Kola Ologbondiyan, and wish you the best and your party.